started these series of videos on this Plandemic back in February, thinking that I would just put a little commentary to it because it was clearly fake and clearly was going to be used to take down humanity. Today, sitting here towards the end of June, and the directions that it's all been taken in, I don't really want to make many more videos relating to that subject, because the word you've heard me use before is futile, and it is futile. We're in it now. We've got to deal with it. We've got to deal with what they've thrown at us. We've got to deal with what they're going to do in the present, and we've got to deal with the actions they took in the past and how that's going to affect our future. And it doesn't seem to matter now what's said. We don't have a voice that's going to reach the mainstream. We don't have a voice that's going to affect change. The only way to affect change is through, in this case, violence. And that's true. And you'll hear so many people say, "Oh, violence never solved anything." Well, it depends what kind of violence and who it's directed towards, because you're not going to be able to affect change from the lot that you voted in this time. I say voted in, you haven't voted anybody in, but you know what I mean. You're giving them, every time anybody leaves their house to go to a polling station or even completes an online voting form, you're allowing them to continue to decimate you. You're giving them your permission, which is just astonishing. But we know the majority are programmed now. We know they don't see it. We know because of Tavistock, Chatham House, BBC, alpha waves, various EMF frequencies, mercury fillings, BCG injections, polio, certain vaccinations in life, indoctrination through education, pressure of exams, taxation, fear of societal rejection, etc., etc., has just led us up to this day. And the reason why I'm putting more of people like Vernon Coleman's videos up is because I've got to that point now where, look, I could be a disinfo agent, guys. I could have an agenda sitting here. I could be, and I guess the majority of people, if you were to question the majority, sit 100 people in a room, just a random 100 people in a room, and make them watch 50 of my videos, you would probably get a very mixed response, wouldn't you? But I would wager that the majority would still say, "Oh, he sounds batshit crazy. It's just all conspiracy, isn't it?" Even though they're actually living it. So when you reach that realization, and the way that this scamdemic has been taken into new directions, obviously planned, means that I could sit here for the rest of my life making videos now. As you know, I don't have editing suites, so I can fiddle around with bits and pieces. I wouldn't say I don't put effort in. I do put effort in. I think about things a lot, and I believe less is more these days. And I think there's too much saturation going on, too much information coming out, too much misinformation coming out. And it's clear as well that my type in Europe, my type is clearly under attack, and that we all have better things to do to prepare for a future where this isn't going to get better for us. I'm going to give you a thought here about how they got Germany to, the German people, the population, even today, to feel guilty about something that they didn't do. Well, if in the UK and America they get their race war, unfortunately for those people who have been empowered by the death cult to believe that they're going to succeed, they are a numerical minority and they are financially poorer. And history will tell you time and time again, the majority with the wealth will always win. And if they get their race war, they'll more than likely use the guilt of the nation that, the First Nation that really turned on its immigrants and ethnic populations, and use them as a guilt weapon against the rest of us. So the plan for this race war that they're brewing really would see most of the ethnic minorities wiped off the face of the countries where the propaganda and the media bias towards them is so strong. Good example of that today, obviously, many of you would have seen Bournemouth Beach packed out with people, English people wanting to go to the beach for the day and being threatened with beaches closing if they don't conform. Meanwhile, you have non-British, mainly people, non-Indigenous people, protesting and marching with their Indigenous brainwashed numpty friends. No threat for them. So what I'm saying, unfortunately, is entirely true, and it does go back to documents. Well, it's not a document like the Kalergi Plan, the Richard Coudenhove Kalergi Plan for a Pan-Europe, the Charlemagne Prize in support of that plan, and the Protocols of Zion. And you're witnessing them firsthand, which is the elevation of a enemy within a nation to destroy the culture and society from within. And of course, with a disillusioned youth, you will be able to get a lot of support, as you're seeing, from areas of society that haven't been educated, haven't got life experience, and have spent most of their waking life staring into a screen. Cheers, everyone.